All right, you're welcome back. And the conversation on Money Spring this morning is about the tackle that's been traded between the APC and the PDP in Osun State about infrastructural project. In fact, this particular one is about the Olaiya Flyover Bridge, which the APC said you can't rubbish our project. We know what we did, and the PDP is saying all we have done is to take precautionary measures and about this particular project. And of course, we've had Honorable Bamiji speak to us. So we are being joined by the representative of the APC and somebody who served in the administration that constructed that particular project, Honorable Kehinde Ayantunji. He was in charge of, the students and at that time as senior special assistant. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Good morning. Thank
Good
you for
morning,
coming.
Femi.
Yeah. So let's take it from this. And we've had Honorable Bamiji who has trying to explain what the government has officially been saying and their handlers have been saying to say is about the safety of the people. But your government, I mean, you served in that government. The APC granted the World Press Conference a few days ago to say, in your words, you know what you did. Everything was done according to standard. And now it's like the PDP are just coming up with whatever to rubbish what you have done. You know, Nigerians and Osun people say, if actually you know what you have done and you are very sure of what you have done, actually, why should you call a press conference to address just a project? You are no more in power. This said project is the project of the Osun people. Government is a continuum, but you wouldn't stand down. The APC, as a part in the state, came up, your big wigs were there to address, what you feel is the rubbishing of your project. The question is, why is that important?
Yeah, thank you, Femi. On a lighter note, let me first congratulate you on your award yesterday as the best newscaster of the year.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
As a giant strider, and let me, by extension, congratulate the Ref FM for making it either for the 10th or 9th time, seventh time
in 9 years.
The radio station of the year. That's a very good landmark.
Thank you.
So I will congratulate you. I also greet my very good brother and friend here that we are also meeting again. Yeah, I'm here because I served in the last administration, and we are under obligation to protect and defend whatever we have done in that administration, because we believe that the former governor, Adeleke Oyetola, served this state in the best interest of the people and also served this state with honesty and integrity. And yes, government is a continuum, and what is constant is change anywhere in the world. So, but what we are saying is that you must delineate or separate politics with governance. There are two things. When it is time of politics, we are going to play the politics the way we're supposed to play it. But when there is time for governance, let us deliver on our mandate as a government. And when you look at the style and approach of this government, that has been their style, that has been their approach. Their approach is that they will have done something even before the due diligence. And at the end of the day, they will not become a make-up, they will become to throw out all manner of narrative. Let me start from this issue of bridge that you are talking about. When they issue a statement, when you look at that statement, they said arising from security meeting in the state. The first question you ask yourself, yes, anybody can raise security concern over government facility, but not a technical issue. They said for technical reasons, they are closing down this. And when you look at the content of that statement,
Closing down?
Erecting a barricade that will prevent heavy duty truck. And when you look at the context and the frame of that press statement, the statement was apparently saying that that flyover was standard, is of poor quality. That was the context and the intent of that. And those of us who serve in the last administration observe that this is an effort to downplay the successes of the last administration and to rubbish the legacy of former Governor Adeleke Oyetola, it is not about politics. You should not introduce politics to factual everything. And that has been their style from beginning of this administration up to today.
Honorable
For
Ayantunji.
example, I want to cite some instances so that you can know.
Do.
For example, now, when the governor issued executive order, in day one that he came to the office, at the end of the day, they issued executive order. It was after the executive order that they now set up a committee, especially on chieftaincy matter. It was when they set up the executive committee that the committee now worked towards the executive order of Mr. Governor, because it's going to be a contradiction when you declare an executive order and the committee that you also appointed are now coming out with a different report. And you see that it's like when you make up, you work towards the answer. So that has been their style. They will raise a false alarm. What we will have expected is that, okay, let the engineers do the quality test of that bridge. Yeah. There are professionals, there are organizations, there are institutions that are assigned with those responsibilities. Let them now come out as an expert. I'm not an engineer. In fact, my opinion should not even be taken serious on some issues like that, because I'm not an engineer. Let them now come out and say, okay, for this purpose, so this bridge cannot stand the current traffic. Because as explained by the former commissioner, when we designed this bridge, we have projected 30 years traffic. Because you cannot rule out the urbanization that we are experiencing in the state capital. Whether I like it or not, by 10%, the state capital population is growing as a result of expansion of infrastructure that we have done in the last 10 years of our administration. You understand? Which this government is also trying to replicate in some areas. So definitely, if you're going to design an infrastructure now, you must design an infrastructure that will accommodate more than 200% of what we are also experiencing. And we did not just wake up in a day and say we want to construct a flyover. We did a traffic analysis that, okay, let us even look at the busiest road in Osogbo, and that was what informed the choice of that location. And we even use AI to say, okay, in the next 20 years, let us even imagine that this A happen or B happen. This is the traffic experience we are going to have, and all of these have been factored in design of that. So if they are coming from the angle that, okay, we have an expert report, or some engineers have examined this facility and they say this facility cannot accommodate heavy truck, yes, we can accept that as a genuine argument, but not that, okay, after you have rubbish a project or you have downplayed the quality or potency of that project, we now come out and say, and that's why we said, okay, what we are thinking is that maybe the one they are doing currently may not or might not have capacity to endure heavy truck. So that is why they want to preempt. God, a lot of people of us will ask them that if the one Oyetola did by 3 years is working and enduring every truck, why your own cannot endure every
before
truck?
My colleague comes in, I think when you check you said the release made by the Osun State government, it kind of puts the structural integrity of that particular bridge under doubt, in a doubt. Okay, but you know, it's according to that statement, this is Governor Adeleke bars heavy duty trucks from plying Olaiya Bridge. If I may quickly say that Governor Adeleke has directed the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure to ban heavy trucks from plying the Olaiya Bridge as the state capital, citing safety reasons arising from the technical report on the state of the bridge. The governor, who presided over a Security Council meeting at Osogbo, said the decision became necessary to protect the bridge from possible collapse and avoid untoward happenings with continuous passage by heavy trucks. Describing the decision as a preemptive step, Governor Adeleke said the ministry should erect barricades across the bridge to ply and allow only cars and buses to ply through the road. The governor assured the public that the decision was taken to protect the public and state assets, while a long-lasting review of the technical status of the bridge is being conducted by the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, signed by the spokesperson to the governor. When we say this kind of statement, why do you think it's throwing the bridge or the safety or the structural integrity under the bus? By the way, they have said they are the ones in government, not that they have said it, they are the ones in government, and they are duty bound to do whatever is okay for the people of the state. Why should that be a problem?
Nobody is questioning the power of government to perform his
and the responsibility.
No, but it's a constitutional responsibility of the governor. You understand? To ensure the safety. That's the number one responsibility.
And that's what he has done, isn't it?
But now look at the dominant frame in that statement. There are 3 dominant frames. 1, safety. 2, technical report. You understand? 3, collapse. So when you do a critical analysis of this dominant frame, you come to a conclusion that what they are saying in essence is that this facility cannot endure the traffic.
That's the way you interpret it.
Heavy duty articulated vehicles. It's not close to all vehicles.
Yes,
heavy duty trucks.
Yes, I agree with you. But that should be from a technical or engineering assessment report. I cannot be observing you now physically and conclude that you are heady. I don't know what you are not saying. We are saying and we insist that the bridge that the flyover that we constructed can endure as many as possible heavy truck. That is our position. During the construction, we even did an integrity test by assuming that, let us even assume that, okay, we have a traffic gridlock that we normally experience in Apapa and some very busy road in Nigeria. That, okay, let's determine that we have about 15-20 trucks, you understand, on this facility for 3 days. What's going to happen? We did that test. And we circulated the pictures, you understand, by loading heavy materials on the bridge after the construction to know, and we observe it for 1 week to know that whether there is going to be a form of a bend or whatever that can lead us to that can be a pointer to the fact that, so you cannot be looking at the Tomiland Bridge now by mere face and said this. Oh, you should have done an integrity test that, okay, even if they close down the bridge for 1 month, we don't mind, but you don't talk based on observation. Somebody cannot come to you and say you are fit. No, but there must be a medical report. There must be a medical report that certified that if they are citing security.
The governor did not talk based on observation. He got a report from his team, and he acted based off on that report. I'd like to ask you, who owns Olaiya Flyover?
Also state government.
So why does the APC think it's political when the government wants to take some safety measures to guard against an accident or any untoward incident?
I've just told you, you know, this government, the government of Adeleke, and I will advise them, if they really want to make history, they have to change their style. Because that style is not even giving us any form of concern.
What's that?
The style is that the former governor Oyetola is the headache. And that's why you hardly see them even issue any statement without referencing him. You understand? As if the man is the governor now. You understand? And that style is that whatever that is associated with Oyetola, they want to rubbish it. Maybe thinking that, okay, by the time we defame the man, we make him look unelectable. Even if he's interested to come back, you understand? The people of Osun will have perceived him and somebody who does not worthy to be trusted. That is their style. And that's why anything they want to do, they portray in a way, either they tell you that Oyetola is not responsible here, and I always tell them, that is not what you are going to show the people of Osun in the next 2 years. When we start the rigorous campaign, you understand? So I can confirm to you.
Because of time,
let me tell you, this is why we respond. Just to conclude, this is why we respond is that when you look at the intent of that statement, which has been a consistent pattern, is that they just want to tell the people of Osun that what Oyetola has done in Olaiya was a death trap.
Don't you think the APC has been presumptuous?
You don't need to
about
presume.
The intent of that particular
you don't need to presume. You don't need to presume. And when you look at our style, when we want to engage them, we engage them based on facts and figures. We always engage them based on their own report. You cannot just come out and say Rev FM studio is not fit. How do you measure it? But if an expert who understands the studio equipment come to give, if you say based on report, technical report received from at least some experts visited this state recently, you understand, to inspect some of their projects. If you have commissioned them to do integrity and to say based on that, and somebody will sign that report, we see the current certificate of that person. I will know that no, this person is coming from expert opinion. Who have issue with that? But not that someone say we had on existing technical reports.
We have limited time, but you kept on mentioning the fact that you are trying to protect and defend what your administration has done.
Yes, of course.
The legacies of Governor Adeleke Oyetola.
Yes.
But the question would be, did former Governor Oyetola defend and protect what the administration of his predecessor has done?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. To a large extent.
There were some legacy projects of former governor.
Yes, let me explain that.
Rauf Aregbesola that were reversed.
Yes.
By former governor Oyetola.
Yes, it was not for political reasons, and we explain this.
How not so?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to explain. Let me first start from some legacy project of Rauf Aregbesola sustained by Adegboyega.
Maybe we make it quick.
I'll make it quick. You understand? Just to address that question sufficiently. Number one is the road from Akuda to from Gbagan. Rauf Aregbesola stopped at that tunnel bridge, and the rest of the project to Odeomu. In fact, one of the most complicated terrain. You understand? It was a water terrain. Oyetola did it, and when Rauf Aregbesola left, he did only one part of Adesoji Aderemi road. You understand? From Ilesha garage to Dele Yesa. It was Oyetola that completed one part to stadium so that there can be access to that road and many others like that.
He left the other part.
Yes, it was under construction.
Okay.
So the question is that whether he abandoned it or not. That's what I was. And two, he sustained the whole years. He sustained the whole May, which were part of the Osun health insurance. They started the planning together. Oyetola never abandoned it. Oyetola strengthened it and made OYIS a benchmark of health insurance across the country. You understand? But I know where I'm going to. Where I'm going to let me assist you is issue of education reform. That, and we took responsibility for taking that reform during Rauf Aregbesola. We never deny not to be part of it. But when you have a policy that is not enduring, and we explained to the people, we were losing many grants, UNICEF grants, because the argument of the Federal Ministry of Education is that this educational system does not conform with national educational policy. We must not pretend.
Well, that's your explanation.
Yeah, that's our explanation. And when they say this thing is not conform, and we are confronted with many challenges. And look, there is no legacy. Every policy is meant for the people.
Yeah.
And when you know that policy is no more enduring, cannot address current challenges, what is the pride about it? There's no pride about it.
Well, if the Osun State government right now says because of some issues, although there are some things that were not written in that particular statement, Honorable Bamiji said before you came in, and many of the handlers of government have been saying because of an issue in Oyo State, a diversion, there is much traffic of articulated trucks towards Osun State, and they might be making use of that particular bridge. They had to do something on it. These are some of the explanations, and you think that doesn't count? It's still about them rubbishing what you have done?
Let me say this.
Yes.
When we wanted to review...
Did you hear them make that explanation?
Say, no, I didn't watch that.
No. There's a public...
Yes, of course. I read this reaction.
Yeah.
I read his reaction to the although there are different reactions, his own reaction is different from that. He's talking about safety and observation and complaint from the motorists. Right. And the spokesman to the governor insisted on non-existing technical reports that nobody has told us. Right. But the inference I want to make is that during our own time, we stated withdrawal of education support from organizations like UNICEF, who insisted, we published that report, who insisted that they can no longer support our education initiative because our education is not in conformity with national education policy. It's an enough ground. We did not only just review that education policy, we constituted a committee. Yes, don't let us throw away the entire policy. Let us review some aspect of this policy that is in conformity with national education policy. Let us look at those ones that are not in conformity. And that was made, and we review it, and we review that, we publish the report. Right. So, and that report was a product of some educational expert investigation.
Let me
so
go to
not that we just come out and stand up in there and make a statement.
Yeah. Apart from the press release made by the government, Osun State government, and some explanation that have been given, I cited the example of the Top Mainland Bridge that was done under the military, and it has been having, construction done now and then, to improve the safety, and people have been passing. And no government, either the ones that followed Babangida's government or any other government, till now, as rubbish in a kind of way thrown, the bridge under the bus to say, no, it's because it's not good, that's why I want to do this. You made a press release because of articulated vehicle and all of it, yet on the program yesterday, the Commissioner for Information talked about how narrow, if our producers can just put up that particular project, how narrow it is and how, it's not even traffic worthy because there are some blind spots on that particular place. People will now ask and say, if it's really about articulated vehicle and safety, you should have just left it there. Why now complaining about how narrow and how the aesthetics are just paintings and all of these? And maybe this is not really far from politics. How do you address that?
Well, I think the Honorable Commissioner was explicit in his explanations about the narrow comment, as far as I'm concerned. He was coming from the premise of the fact that somebody said the bridge was necessitated by a prior accident, which took a life or something. What the Honorable Commissioner was saying was that if it was all about accident, then there have been more accidents, even after construction of the bridge, than what we had before that construction. And especially the entry point, the entrance of the bridge, taken into consideration, unless we don't want to be human in this wise, you will agree with me that unless you are a diligent driver or you are experienced enough to take precautionary measures while on the wheel, there will always be confusion entering that bridge. That is the fact.
Yeah.
The bridge being narrow is a matter of eye. So you can go there and see whether it is the
So do you have a problem with the bridge being narrow, or you have a problem?
It is not even the main problem, because it has been constructed. The deed has been done. So what we have now is what we have on our hands.
So, Honorable Bamiji, you kept on saying that there would be works. There are works to be done on that flyover.
Yes.
Yes. So I'll lead you to quickly, because we're out of time right now, to quickly tell us what kind of works are to be done on that flyover, aside the raising up of the erecting of the barricades to prevent the articulated
just like it has been cited, even on this program now, the Third Mainland Bridge. And even during the period of my friend's government, there were alarm also raised about the modern schools they constructed then, in which the immediate past governor had to set up a committee, if I'm right, to do an integrity test on those buildings. That is the essence of a government. You don't wait until a building collapses on those innocent children before you take proactive measures. That is exactly what the government of today is also doing. How do we want to our friends? Maybe you should advise his superiors or his people in the APC to stop being to stop playing this hyper reactive politics of insecurity.
So this is no politics.
It is not. You should know. You should know that it is not. It is nowhere near politics. If a single life, I repeat, if a single life is lost on that bridge, it is not worth any administration. It is not worth the life of any administration. And to answer your question, there have been technical reports.
By whom?
We don't just have Ministry of Work for having its sake.
Okay.
There have been technical reports by experts that this segment of the bridge have to be looked into. A bridge is a component of so many segments. This section of the bridge, especially at the axis of where you have that fish insignia, that okay, let's look at this place, and for any objective mind plying that bridge, to say that government should not be looking continuously, persistently about what happens there, that person is not truthful to himself. That bridge cost...
Bamiji, the same Ministry of Works was there when the construction was made. They were part of the construction.
How much of involvement did they have?
It was a government.
You heard about Ministry of Works today more. Unlike what we used to have in their time.
Because we have to go.
It is all about consultants somewhere from one World Bank rated consultant and all that.
Okay.
Now we know we are making use of experts we have within our local system.
Let me quickly ask Honorable Ayantunji this one. And this has to do with the project, and it doesn't have to do. If we can do it in 1 minute, we have less than 3 minutes to go. It's, as we, of course, we are part of the realm as well, as we mirror the breadth of the society. Many of the people are saying, why rush to do a press conference when you wanted to defend, according to you, your legacy, that you have never called, or show APC have never called press conference to address the hunger in the land, which was put upon the people by the policies of your government at the center, and you have not done that, assuaging the feelings of the people, what you are really doing for them, or how you intend to take care of them, but your big wigs sat down, called a press conference to defend the legacy. How important was that legacy to the plight of the people you said you are promised to govern, if actually the Osun people agree?
Yes, of course. The reason why we have to do that is that governance has a standard. You must not trivialize governance. And the fact that if the current government administration choose not to be serious, with due respect to them, that does not mean that we have not had a serious administration in the past. Government decision is a serious decision. Because when you make a statement like that, it has to do with public safety, it has to do with fear and panic. You understand? So, and all those statements must be funded on solid evidence. And that's why when you said, why do you have government? Why do you have 3 arms of government? Is for check and balances. So you understand me?
So the question is, why are you not putting that same energy
when somebody
in addressing
when
the
somebody
hunger
when somebody is trying to demystify governance and trivialize it, as a responsible opposition party who understand the seriousness of a government, we never sit down, put our hands, and allow that to happen.
You have not answered the question.
Why
are you not? Why are your big wigs not seated?
The feelings of the people of Nigeria.
The reason why we cannot sit is that, yes, if that evidence is
and
based,
beg the people of Osun State.
If evidence is based on expert reports and evidence, we won't have any problem. Another thing that we have been doing, except the people of Osun will not, some section of people of Osun will not be true to themselves. We have been asking this government that in the last 2 years, what has came to the pulse of this government, we never realized in the 4 years administration of Governor Oyetola. And we have been asking questions. Look, we are using the we are running the constitutional democracy.
Right, we have to,
you understand?
We understand.
The reform that is
unfortunate that priorities of your party. The fact that you could not call up a president.
We are running the constitutional democracy.
Stop your
and that constitutional democracy assign responsibility. We are doing a reform at the federal level. You understand?
To see to the well-being of Nigerians in Osun State.
My
that is my own.
But it's also associated and attracted some incentive to be driven by the state government. And that's why we continue to ask that question, that this is the direction supposed to go, this direction is supposed to go, and they are not going that direction, and we cannot keep silent. Because when
all right, we have to go. Honorable Kehinde Ayantunji, former SSA to former Governor Oyetola, Oyetola, thank you so much for coming on board. And Honorable Oladele Bamiji, Senior Special Assistant in Media to Governor Adeleke. Thank you so much for
my pleasure again to be here this morning. Thank you.
All right, and that's the conversation, people. Thank you for being a part of our world. We'll make a return on Monday for another edition of Morning Spring. Until then, have for yourself a good day. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei, and of course, Spring Trends comes up right after this broadcast.
All right, and if it's about the good of the people, Pantazine, Femi Ojo is my name. We'll see you next week, God willing. Bye.